Good afternoon, AcadArena and the Philippines. We are now live in the ROG University Alliance Cup Season 2 featuring League of Legends Wild Rift. My name is OSX and with me is none other than the legendary Neep to give you the action of today's matches.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good to be here once again. We've got a lot of exciting games in store for us today. And yesterday was just, it was a pretty banger of opening day. You know, we saw some pretty spicy matchups. There was a lot of ties, a lot of 1-1s. We had a few sweeps as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing more today. So, I mean, OSX, how have you been?
Oh, really good, man. In the most hottest temperature of the day, this is the heat that we're expecting to see in this second day of our group stages. Like right now, you have your standing yesterday, and teams will have the chance to put in some points and as well as competitive gameplays. You know what I mean, Neep? You need to get the fuel, you need to get the passion, man. It's not too late because in this group stage, you need to get your game on, right?
Right, and we've got the Warlocks versus MGS Gaia as our first game of the
Yes.
match. Yesterday, Warlocks ended up with a 1-1 score against USA, whereas the MGS Gaia team, I'd say their start wasn't the greatest, you know. They had some struggles here and there against CPU. So I think both teams are going to be looking to try to switch things up and hopefully look for that 2-0 today, as that's really what they need if they want to secure themselves into the playoffs.
Correct. And maybe the challenge today is kind of getting the hang of new kind of rotations, change of. It's all about getting your mind reset and also setting the perfect gameplay and having this executed properly. You know, it will always depend in how your mindset on your team composition mindset, how you make it happen in terms of making the game work. So right now, it's all about getting your game on, and it's also about getting your proper gear this time because our UAC Season 2 would not be possible without our partners, which is ASUS Republic of Gamers. It's powered by the reigning king of gaming smartphones, none other than the ROG Phone 5 with Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 with 144Hz of AMOLED display and a massive, sweet 6000 mAh battery to take your game experience to the next level and to hashtag for those who dare. Know more about this and get into the nearest ROG accredited stores and take a little bit further info at rog.acadarena.com and check it out.
Yeah, and as well, shoutouts to our partner at Logitech G. If you're looking to supercharge your gaming setup so you can hashtag keep playing, check out Logitech's amazing gaming gear at logitech.acadarena.com or type !Logitech G in the Twitch chat for a 175 peso discount for a minimum of 1,750 pesos minimum spend on any Logitech G product.
Yes, you got it right, Neep. And of course, to all of those interested groups and campuses who want to take esports to your school, the AcadArena Alliance program is here for you. Alliance members gets club access to exclusive tournaments, mentorship, event support, and of course, the Globe Esports Merit Scholarship. Learn how to join the Alliance today at acadarena.com/alliance. So we have one heated prize pool of 100,000 pesos, and of course, there are 12 collegiate Wild Rift teams in the Philippines compete and raise the campus torch.
Yeah, and now we're gonna go ahead and take a look at our draft right now in this game.
Yes.
As we do see, the rosters looking pretty similar on both sides. Do note that it is gonna be Domat subbing in, making his debut in the University Alliance Cup instead of
Wow.
Neko Mimi for the Malayan Warlocks. Malayan Warlocks again are on the red side, and we do have the MGS Gaia roster on the blue side. So right now we are just waiting for that last band to lock in. It is hovering on that Gragas. Okay, the
Oh,
Gragas
again.
locked in.
Okay. So we can be seeing a different type of disengage this time because there's no Braum, there's no Diana. Don't get me wrong with the ultimate of Diana that can be so essential in terms of getting that gank and response. And for the first pick, prioritizing by Zenith, Galio, neat.
Yeah. So Galio, they're gonna opt for that global presence, probably mid or support. And
Mm-hmm.
as for MCL, this does leave a lot of picks open. Akali, Fiora, Camille, all of them are really strong champions that we've seen a lot of yesterday, and it's an opportunity to pick them up this game around. And the Akali will be locked in. I actually think that's going to be a mid lane Akali for Stellar,
Agree.
the veteran, the captain, of the Malayan Warlocks. He's been around for so long, and he's here for his, I guess, his encore split. Trying to finish things off, finish his college career off with a banger of a season in Wild Rift.
Oh, I believe so, man. And for Danny Cute, he gets in with Lee Sin as well as Galio. Having full
Ooh.
control of the map and response, I'm sensing it over for MCL to take this lineup. And of course, Eleazar taking it again with Camille.
Yeah, so this is a really traditional and really powerful combo, the
Oh,
Camille and
yes.
Galio combo. So basically, a Camille has a really long range of engage. You kind of just you can dash really far away with the Hextech ultimatum, and then Galio can follow up with his ultimate, and it just forces these really powerful team fights and lockup opportunities for the side of the MGS Gaia. So that's a really scary combo that MCL needs to be careful of for.
Correct. And for Pineapple Creep taking Kai'Sa, and for that counter, we are seeing Vox taking Saya. For this ADC matchup face off, maybe they are going also for the stacked ability as scaled up. You know Kai'Sa's ability to have it scaled with her passive, which is the second skin, that can totally have an edge in terms of getting her farmed in and having the strategy funnel to focus on her. But maybe for Vox's reply or response for that, maybe it's all about getting her feathers out in terms of having a possible gank in the lane, don't you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree. That bot lane matchup is going to be pretty interesting to keep an eye out for. You've got that Saya and Janna together versus the Kaisa versus Alistar. Alistar not exactly the strongest lane presence
Mm,
because once he goes in, he's in. He can't really go out safely. So I feel like this lane priority is going to be given over to the side of MGS Gaia, which means that they can take advantage of that fact. They can use their early game Lee Sin to really build an early game lead and kind of push their advantage for the rest of the game and hopefully carry that over for the victory, at the end of the game.
that's it, man. Absolutely. And we're seeing another perfect lineup from these two squads. But for the first pick, I think this is going to be a synced top, going for a counter with either no, no, no. I think it's going to be Camille. Camille or synced, right? Probably on the top lane.
Yeah, both of them are going to
Bo-
be, I think, in
um,
the Baron
top,
lane. Yeah.
Baron lane as well. And for Vi as well for the jungle. Lee Sin and Vi, they would Lee Sin will have complete maybe a bit of an additional edge in terms of using this in the early game on the early game stage. So I think one to look after that is the counter of both picks, but for the possible engage that can happen in the jungle areas of these two teams.
That is true. And I do think, yeah, like you said, a lot of counter jungling possible with this Lee Sin. Vi is also a pretty fast jungler as well, though, so they do need to respect, the power that the Vi can bring. And it looks like we're already gonna head straight into the Rift. This is game one, day two of the University Alliance Cup.
Yes, guys, thank you for joining us once again. This tournament is presented by the ASUS Republic of Gamers, powered by the reigning king of gaming smartphones, the ROG Phone 5. So check it out right now at rg.acadarena.com to get more info and get your ROG Phone 5 in accredited stores nationwide. So let's game on and let's start the heat, Meep. It is MGS Sky versus MCL Warlocks for our day 2 of our group stages.
Yeah, so right off the bat, we do see that both junglers are going to be opting to... Okay, no. So the Vi did go for an early ward on that top side of the map, but it looks like they're going to both end up finishing towards the bottom. And this is going to be really interesting. That means both of these junglers are going to be looking to contest this Scuttle Crab at 125. Already some action in the mid lane with the Janna roaming level 1, but I think nothing will really come out of that.
Yes, maybe they're just probably just spamming each other and trying to take on what could be the possible heat if they keep on invading it. Right now, they're trying to gain control of the Scuttlers, which is their primary objectives, and taking this lead in terms of having the control of the rivers from top to bottom. So maybe they would need that strength or edge for Eleazar to have full vision and control to get that superhero landing, you know what I mean? And while they're trying to wait it on, they would need to have some proper responses as well.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And it looks like Okay, interesting. So the Lee Sin, this is what we mentioned earlier. He has that early game prowess. Bot lane has priority, so he can go for these aggressive invades. He can take that blue buff freely, uncontested. No response whatsoever from the Malayan Warlocks. And now, this is Lee Sin with that fairly sizable advantage. He's roughly one or two camps ahead of his counterpart in that Vi.
Agreed. And the only thing that Vi needs is to keep her levels up and not to have that gap, because since Lee Sin has the edge for a faster take of all the objectives and buffs, while Vox is trying to be knocked down, now that's a lock, and Pineapple Creep takes the hit, and the AcadArena Rain is trying to take them some damage, but it won't be enough to take it, but just to have it hid you in tower protection
Yeah,
right now.
that was a really close. That could have been
Closer.
first blood. Could have been
Yeah,
first
man.
blood for this Saya, but you know he was able to escape. Just a little bit more damage would have been enough, but you know that's still gonna be first blood up on the table for both of these teams to get.
I think they will probably prioritizing to take that item of having their attack speeds in and also the damage, knowing that he scales up in every part of the game. Pineapple Creep took this opportunity for making his every hit count. You have the Alistar to back you up. You also have Miss Chance to have in for the ganking. But the thing you
So
need to
speaking
look
of gank
after
in the
is-
top lane, Vi, he's onto this
Yes.
Camille, and that will be first blood.
Oh,
Okay.
speaking of which, off-cam kill right there, everybody, and taking down, it's MCL Warlocks taking it down right now on the Baron lane. So it all happens in the sneaky moments of this part of the game, right, Neep?
Yeah, basically, and you know, the Vi was level 6. You know,
Mhm.
it's really hard to get away from a Vi in a Singe. Once that Vi ult latches onto you, you know, you can expect that Singe to follow up, and there's very little chance of escape. And that ultimately resulted in that first kill on the side of Malayan Warlocks, but it looks like MGS, they're gonna continue to try to make something happen. 5 members immediately on that dragon, 4 minutes on the spawn.
Oh, MGS is trying to take this now while they're trying to play it in. Pineapple Creep is trying to share up some shared tidbits here. They will try to make it in, but the ultimatum has inside of this moment, trapping them together, blocking them out in the shroud, but now the perfect knockup goes in, but the Grand Hero entrance was missing the point, but right now they're trying to take it out one by one in the silence, in the backline. Look at Pineapple Creep go as they're taking it slowly, one by one, and the first wipe of that MUMGS Gaia, Neep.
Yeah, that's going to be our first ace of the game. Only 4 minutes and 30 seconds in. Let's take a look at it exactly what happened. Good initial start from the from MGS Gaia. It's just that they weren't able to lock down those key targets. You know, the Kaisa was very safe from that Galio. Same thing with the Akali. They weren't really affected by the damage. And the thing is, when you go for those early 4-minute rushes, you're compromising your timings on your items. You know, none of them had a full item completed on the side of
Right.
MGS Gaia. There was no, let's say, Triforce for the Camille. There was no, I believe, Infinity Edge for the Saya.
Oh, again, Zenk again is trying to get it for the last hit, but will it be enough again with Ignited Health, with the dash out? I don't care about the tower. I'm taking you in for my kill. That's 7-2 right there, and this might be the tower takedown of MCL Warlocks. Neep.
Yeah, so that was a really good dive right there. It was just a 2v1, you know. Interesting play, because a lot of the teams, they will immediately swap towards that top side to prepare for the Rift Herald, but MCL did the opposite. They kept their duo lane in that bottom, and they just immediately went for that first tower and the aggressive tower dive to kind of put them ahead. You know, like that is still a victory on the side of MCL Warlocks, even though they traded that top turret away for it.
Agree, and that would be the missing link of having their full items. And as you've mentioned, they need to focus on getting their objectives and as well as taking some kills. But in being cautious as well, they might also need to look after mischance of just creeping out of the brush. But knowing that Stellar can be just around the corner as they try to take it down, this will be a tower trade. Will they try to secure this moment? Will it be another invade from these guys? From guys trying to prepare it in with a knockback up, and the hero entrance probably enters in with a perfect now. That is 2, making it a 4. That's a revive for the GA, and now prioritizing Vox out in the back lines that is trying to take it in. But one more hit goes to Pineapple Creep as he is trying to make it slowly but surely taken down with perfect execution.
Yeah, and it looks like the MCL Warlocks have complete control of this game again. pretty clean team fight coming in. MGS Gaia, they just don't really have the damage at the moment. They're not really selecting their targets properly, and it's just resulting in them losing these fights, which is in turn making a really huge lead for the Malayan Warlocks.
I agree, man. And what they need to do now is keep their focus on making this first item priority locks. You know that Miss Chance has seen the possibility, and for their progress of these items, they knew that they would be on the front lines. But to secure this opportunity, they also need to have their back supported by Eleazar maybe, or Knights to scatter them out once they get in. You need to have that weather forecast to have them scattered around if ever you want to have the perfect set, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely get what you mean right there. And it's really tricky right now for MGS Gaia because they drafted that early game team composition with that Lee Sin. And the Lee Sin is just going to slowly become more and more irrelevant. This is a good opportunity to make something happen.
One more down. That's Tellermia with the knock and the damage for the safety. And now Eleazar is going to move back. And Miss Chance goes in for the reinforcement. No, you're not getting any fights right now because they were trying to have it on a reconnaissance mode as they try to take this more slowly.
Yeah, so looks like Stellar was still able to survive despite all that happened. They're going to use the Rift Herald as a decoy and immediately go for this dragon. And I think MGS Gaia, they can't really do anything about it. The Camille's still in that top side of the map.
Oh, I agree with that, man. As they try to move it as a decoy, as a diversion, Warlocks has secured another Mountain Drake for the taking, and this will be another chance of minion waves and as well as tower takedowns in this moment. But for the items right now, Neep, where is this headed as we enter the next stages of the game while they're trying to build it up?
Okay, and wow, that damage onto the Janna is just crazy at the moment. You know, the items aren't currently displayed on the scoreboard, but if I had to take a guess, I do think that the Kaisa is already at that Blade of the Rune King and Runan's Hurricane stage of the game, so he has those two items complete as well as that BS sword. So she's just going to be doing so much damage in these fights, and she doesn't even care about the threat of dying to this potential Lee Sin and
again with the dash back and out. Being golden, Pineapple Creep is ready for the takedown, but that is the feathers planted down together if they will engage this. Do how to take this now, but no, that's Icy Ghost taken for the safety, and Slow for ticket 2 to 10 rather.
Yeah,
and
so
our gold advance.
Yeah, so the gold lead again is 6,000 in favor of the MCL Warlocks. They are trying to take down this middle tower. Baron is up in 30 seconds, and with this lead, with the way the fights have been going for them, this is something that they can look to do. They can start pressuring this Baron. They can eventually take down this mid lane. I think it only needs around one more hit. Yeah, they're just gonna go for it.
Yeah, they're probably gonna go for it. And while they're trying to have it in this one is dang Cuties are gonna risk this to take in more additional vision. But right now we have Stellar down bottom, but just trying to clear out some waves to take them for more diversions. But this will be a possible take of the Baron. MGS guy will be needing this additional buff, and having this forward, they can still break the defenses of MCL Warlocks.
Yeah, so MGS Gaia. Like I'm really trying to think and wrap my head as to what they can do at the moment to, you know, turn things around. I think it's just gonna have to revolve around using that Camille, using that Galio, and possibly the Lee Sin, get that extended ranged initiate, and possibly try to go for like a pick, you know. You take down you assassinate the Kaisa, maybe you assassinate the Akali, but it looks like MGS isn't going to really give them that opportunity as they start the Baron. And
no, not at all, man.
Yeah, and no one seems to be rotating. It's a bit late. Okay, there we go.
Oh, there we go. That's a grab. That's a will it land with the knock-up in the perfect setup. Now that is the hero entrance going for the kill. Whoa, perfect knock-up there. That is 3. But where's the follow-up? You need to have the perfect follow-up, guys. And that's trying to make it down. That's knock back up. And from the backlines, they're trying to hit it one by one. The Acaden Rain, the killer instinct, keeps on moving forward, going mad. Connects it with properly. That's the last hit. We'll get for another one. Dane Cutie on big trouble that time. You have the Blind Monk taking that hit.
Yeah, and with that, I think they're in a pretty safe position to do the Baron if they want to right now. While they don't, okay, the Vi does have the teleport, so this should be pretty safe. And I think MGS is just going to give this to MCL Warlocks. Let's take a look again at what happened. Again, it was a good engage onto Zenith. Zenith immediately taken out of the fight, 4v5. And after this 4v5, it's just a matter of finding the key targets. You have that Singe who can just really dive that backline. You have that Vi. And that's essentially what happened. No one died on the side of the Malayan Warlocks, And the score is now 213, almost a 10,000 gold lead. And Malayan Warlocks have Baron.
With this push, they can have it moving forward. But for now, we are seeing the items progress of these squads. So starting with Eleazar, probably focusing on the ROA, which he's probably prioritizing with a bit of a magic damage as well as tankier by the minute. And also, Sind is now prioritizing Thorn Mail as well for his item. And as for Vi, you gotta go first with the Black Cleaver. And we have Akali as well taking that Lyandris, which is very essential to get more magic damage hits. And as Kai'Sa, as you've mentioned, yeah, he has the Bork. He also has the Infinity Edge, and that will give him the last faster hit attack damage. But right now on the bot lane is trying to move it forward, while Danny Cute is trying to get that defense and retreat. That's a trade for the tower and for their safety.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I agree with the build of Vi. You know, the Black Cleaver first item is a bit weird, but I mean, if you're ahead, you're ahead. And you kind of have that luxury of being able to build whatever you want.
Correct.
As for the Lee Sin, he is gone for a pretty traditional build. However, the GA has been popped in that previous fight, so he's kind of just sitting on that Yomu's Ghostblade at the moment. In terms of any other itemization, everything looks pretty standard, and the gold is really starting to show right now. 12,000 gold lead is what? 4 items different compared to your opponent. And let's see how MGS decides to close the S. Let's see if MGS can make a comeback, or if MCL is just going to close this
look
out.
at the damage. Pineapple Creep just
1-2.
unleashing that AcadArena. We need to see the damage, man. If they were inside or even that tower, that could be the last hit for Vox for that kill. But as they're trying to take it slowly, as you've mentioned, if you're ahead, you got the edge. But if they were trying to focus on the items, if Vi, he would rather focus on the Triforce to unleash a bit of crack on her skills as well. But for now, since they are probably ahead of this game, they would probably see the possibility of to do whatever, since it's their freedom of composition of metas. Maybe it's their own way of executing this. But for now, we are waiting for the first Elder Dragon to have it landed on the pit. But if the MGS tries to take this, they will still have an edge to push it forward. But it can still be a ticking time bomb if they do so.
Yeah, so the Elder Drake still a bit far off, but I think this is something that Malayan Warlocks do want to secure. You know, they don't need to force anything. They're in a position where they can kind of just chill, let the objectives come to them, and just kill whoever tries to contest, because they're just that far ahead at this point. And as for MGS Gaia, you know, it's really looking grim for this game. I'm not really sure how they're gonna make a comeback. It's gonna take some crazy Elder Drake steal on top of a Baron steal to really make something happen here. Because other than that, you know, you're just gonna get run over, and you're gonna have to start looking at game 2 already.
Agree, man. And if the only person who can steal this might be Dane Cute, but for now they're trying to engage it without moving forward in that Elder Drake, having bounced it together. You have called with the forecast, that's a trade, but now making it stoppable, that is Stella, showing down the stars, and while trying to break it down, that's Pineapple Creep putting down in the knockback, but that is not enough to get into safety. But the GA will still have safe time, but no, will it be the safe position to go back home? That is 4 against 1. Moving it back, that's total poison, and the rebound, bounce back, coming in from Blue. Making it so blue, but this time it is still one more hit. That's no much just going for the last hit if it was still on the last moment.
Yeah, and let's take a look again at what happened. We saw Kali immediately destroy Galio in an instant right there, while the rest of the team is kind of just dancing around this tower, and MGS Gaia, they're just getting run over. They can't do anything to really stop this from happening. The Vi does get taken down by the tower, but that's about it. And 218 now. This gold lead again slowly increasing, 16,000. We do see that Baron is up. We do see that Elder is about to spawn in a minute. And MGS Gaia, they're playing tower defense right now.
As we see it right now, everybody, you need to get your mindset in the game as you want to defend this. They have 3 inhib towers left, and while they're trying to have it maintained, there's also the Baron that can aid additional push. But the answer is, will they sustain the damage coming in from Stellar and Pineapple going in from the backlines? Do not forget, there is still Toxic Potion moving around the area as you take that set. But right now, no contest at all. There's a Baron taken by MCL Warlocks, being so confident, and it is now being taken securely without any questions at all.
Yeah, so 16 minutes in the game. Dragon is about to spawn in 3 seconds. We do see a Kali split pushing on the side lane. Can probably 1v1 whoever she decides to choose. And I don't think MGS Gaia can really contest this Elder Drake, but MCL Warlocks, they had a game yesterday where they threw at the Baron pit, so I think this is why they're playing this cautiously. They don't want to throw again. They know how devastating it can be,
Yes.
creating a lead and then just throwing it all away in one game. So with that, they're just gonna opt to take it a bit slow, let the
Slowly,
lane. Yeah,
agree with you, man. Slowly but surely, but they don't want to commit that second mistake again. It all goes back of putting your efforts down in the drain if they miss this moment. Right now, we have the Incute ready and ready to have it. Oh, I think they have spotted it. That area is warded, so probably they're waiting for an engage or a steal. What they're trying to do is having full control of the map. But right now, you have the Sonic Blade out and ready. Will he dash in? Will he risk it? But no, that is the entrance. Knocking back out together. They have forget about the Elder Drake. They keep moving forward as they take that. That was a bait. That wasn't a take of the objective, Neep. And that's the escape of Dane Q.
and with that, that's gonna be 4 members dead of MGS Gaia, and I think this is just gonna be game 1 for the Malayan Warlocks. Well played by them. A very impressive scoreline. That's 22 versus 2, and they're gonna dance around the Nexus as they take that first victory and secure themselves 1 point in this best of 2 series.
That is the first match of the day. Malayan Warlocks showing some dark magic in taking that first score versus Team MU MGS Gaia. It's the group stage, and you still have a chance to pay it forward in putting your first point in. So what just happened there, Neep? What was the loopholes in making it work in terms of their composition?
You know, they did a really good job of shutting down this Camille. They chose a lane, they punished it, and whenever the skirmish came up, they were on top of it. They were ready to do what they could to win that fight and create the numbers advantage. And that just eventually snowballed into winning team fights. That just snowballed into winning objectives. And that ultimately snowballed in them taking the game. So even though I really like the draft of MGS Gaia, I think it's more on the side of execution, you know? How do we adjust how we play? How do we prevent ourselves from getting picked off? And how do we, you know, bounce back and secure that 1 point instead of going 0-2 once again?
Well, it depends on how will they draft this once again, and if they get their head straight in having this proper counters, they will have an edge to that. You've mentioned with the gold gap, it's an advantage on the other side, and while they keep on having the freedom on building items that even is it is not necessary at all, they had the edge of making those decisions and as well as securing them. They have learned from their mistakes yesterday, and what MJ's guy could do is probably learn to have it again re-strategize or think something else, because it is still not over to have your lanes again, or maybe your gameplays countered by different squads here in our group stage A. But for now, this game has been presented by their partners, so big shout outs to all of you. So the University Alliance Cup wouldn't be a thing without our amazing sponsors and partners. So the UAC 2021 is powered by Globe Telecom, our official telco sponsor, and of course ASUS ROG Phone 5, our presenting sponsor, and Logitech G, our gear partner, Riot Games, and Twitch, our official student platform partner.
Right, and you know, it was a really nice game coming in from game 1. And I'm again looking forward to seeing what these teams have in store for game 2. It's going to be interesting to see, you know, that's a very convincing victory coming in from the Malayan Warlocks. They won that game. What was that? What? 22-2.
Yes.
And Malayan Warlocks looking a lot better than they were yesterday. And MGS Gaia, they're committing the same mistakes that they were in the previous day, you know. I think they still need to take this. I think it's not possible. It's not impossible to, you know, take a victory from game 2, but they're really gonna have to dig down deep and try to find what's missing, you know, for this next set of games.
I agree with you, man. Fill in the missing link as we enter our drafting and banning stage. On point, this is going to be continued action as we cannot wait. As you see, you're in the best seat of the house. This is the ROG UAC Season 2. It's Wild Rift, and we're on the second game. This time for the priority ban, Neep, that's Garen.
Yeah, so again, we do see the Garen ban once again, and this does leave in a Kali, this a Fiora open for these teams to draft. It's gonna be Galio banned away from the side of Mapu as well. So and Diana again banned from Mapua. Okay, so this does leave a few things open. They can go for the Camille first pick. They can go for the Fiora. I wouldn't take first pick Fiora, but it is an aggressive pick that can take early.
Mm-hmm.
Gragas is still on the table. Ziggs is still on the table. There's quite a few things that they can really go for. A lot of options and pieces to play around. But I
Well,
think, yeah,
agree,
I,
man. And for this, they could probably prioritize taking up that Fiora again, maybe, or we can just take up Gragas as well. It's too open, but it all depend on how will they prioritize this champions in getting into their second game.
yeah. So let's wait and see as to how how the draft is going to go. It's going to be interesting, you know. I really want to see how these teams adjust. I do think this is what I really like about best of two format. You know, it's not just a prepare strat for game one and then see how it goes. It's more of a okay, we prepared a strategy for game one. It didn't work well. What can we do to make it better for game two? What can we do to bounce back? And I think it's gonna be interesting for these brains, you know, of these students to really go into overdrive and make those adjustments on the fly as they head into game two. So we are just waiting for the actual draft to start. The bans were declared a bit ahead of time, but it looks like the timer is now ticking once again, and we're gonna see the first pick
Okay.
Gragas.
Oh,
Okay.
as you've predicted, man, that is on point by Blue taking this around. So MCL is on the other side. That's Blue prioritizing Gragas, and that is their priority pick on taking that disengaged and as well as scattered omelet egg in terms of getting your perfect set.
Yeah, so the Gragas has been taken away on the side
Mm-hmm.
of the Malayan Warlocks. So Kaisa, that's a good option there. You could go for the Kaisa Braum right off the bat. You could also
Agree.
opt to go for like maybe a Kaisa Fiora. You know, I think there is merit in taking Fiora a bit early, especially with that Garen band. But no, it's gonna be the Kaisa Braum. So they're gonna take the secure bot lane matchup, and they're gonna decide to just play around that strength. But this does leave the Camille open for the side of Malign Warlocks. It's something I completely missed, and it's quite a strong pick.
Agree. And they're probably going for the original Kaiser composition that we seen yesterday in all of the group stage matches. And while they're trying to follow up, would have having that control hero picks. And for the other side, you're probably prioritizing Stellar as Alistar, which is the perfect maybe combo if they will have another additional damage dealer for an ADC pick. Maybe I'm thinking you would rather go for Tristana maybe, or you can also have. Let me think. They can also take. There's a lot of options, but if they want to have it counter their full knockup, but for the other side of MCS, they're going full control. Neep. We have Elizar taking Ariana as well as Vox as Wukong.
Yeah, so we do see that the Wukong has been taken for the side of MGS Gaia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be an interesting decision here. We do see that the Alistar was again taken for the side of MCL Warlocks, and we're going to see a Fizz lock in for Stellar. So Stellar pulling out these
Oh, Tristana.
interesting picks. Yeah,
I knew it.
Tristana.
I knew
Okay.
it. They would probably go in for the control and escape. So since they have the range, this is a unique composition in terms of having responses. But for that one, as you've mentioned, the Fiora was the last pick for Mikutaiver. If I pronounce it right.
Yeah, and I mean, I really like how Stellar is pulling out these champions. I think he's got the most diverse champion pool so far from what we've seen. He played
Mm-hmm.
Annie in day one, 2 games of
Yes.
Annie, and now he's decided to go for the Fizz mid lane and pull that out as well. And I mean, the Fizz mid can be good. You know, we have seen, you know, the team of Rebenga, you know, Brand Esports. That's one of
Oh
the
yes.
picks that they really like. They're actually one of the only teams that actually play the Fizz mid, and I guess it's Stellar taking a page from that Bren playbook and pulling it out in the ROG University Alliance Cup this game.
What makes it amazing is because we have all these awesome professional teams who's showing up with use of the current methods. You get to see Fizz in the mid lane. Sometimes you get to see it on the rank game, on our solo rank game sessions, but right now they're trying to unleash it as they try to work it out. The control of the composition on the side of MGS guy is still quite good in terms of having it with the Cyclone, having it with the shockwave. It all will depend on how will they counter on the other side. Since you have Tristana as taking that ADC and as well as Gragas, your set can be destroyed, but it will still look upon your perfect timing of making that perfect tap. And speaking of getting that timing right, you need to get your gear on by our presented official reigning king of gaming smartphones, that is ASUS Republic of Gamers, and this is presented by the ROG Phone 5. Make it happen with longer games of League of Legends Wild Rift and the hashtag for those who dare. So check it up now and hop onto rog.acadarena.com for more info.
Yeah, we do see that the fans of the Malayan Warlocks are coming in hot. That's 83% to 17% for MGS Gaia. So looks like the fan support has come in droves today as they look to see potentially MCL taking that 2-0 for this team. And we do see that Stellar, he's giving out a shout out to all MCL that's supporting him and the Malayan Warlocks, and already some action in that bottom lane. Aggressive trade.
Too early. You are now seeing one of a quick hit. Oh, are you still gonna go for that hit, Domat? But that was the Honeydew taking that safety. But while they're trying to peek out on what's happened, we have Night Spark and Vex trying to feel and test the waters with this kind of composition. Alistar and Tristan is like bouncing back in action and taking himself out in the picture. But that you need to get that buster shot ready in the 4th level. It all happened so fast, but it is now still waiting on the timing and ganking as they try to prioritize the objectives and as well as their lane prioritizing these minion waves and as well as possible takedowns.
Yeah, for sure. And we do see that it's going to be a bit of a better start, I think, for MGS Gaia. You know, in the previous game, they already had a first blood around this point, but it looks like MGS, they're able to secure that parallel scuttle trade. You know, Wukong controlling that bottom side of the map, whereas we have Camille controlling that top side. And that's a bit to be expected since it is a Kaisa Braum. That is a pretty powerful combo. You know, you don't really want to mess with that in the early game as they will mess you up. But we do see that, again, the team composition of Malayan Warlocks looking to scale a bit more harder than the side of MGS. They do have the Camille, which is going to be good when dealing against the Fiora in that later stage of the game. The concern is that the Camille is that jungler, you know, she's the one carrying the smite. So when you send Camille to defend against the Fiora, you're sacrificing your your objective presence.
Oh, speaking of presence, they're now trying to have it hunted down with Domat. Since they have full control, MCL Warlock has full control, but having unleashed that charm out of the water with the Hex Tech, wow, too mad taking that first blood. You have a Hungry Shark with you. Warlocks for that, and that is another trade as well, while trying to have it in Dane Cute. Oh, you're not too good and cute enough. That was a trade 2-1, Neep.
Yeah, so it looks like it's Dane Cute popping off, showing his great counter gank in that mid lane. And while that was an initial good play, you know, it's just that the Wukong was able to hit level 5 just at the perfect time, you know. Like, immediately, he just needed one leash at level 5. And, you know, that really made the difference right there. And good counter gank from Dane Cute. This is what MGS Gaia needs if they want to take this win back in the series.
Agree with you, man. That timing of topping that 5th level unleashed the cycle in the perfect timing. He was about to be killed in that moment, and so probably he was trying to wait on that, and he was so confident that I can take this over. If he backed out, he might be killed, but he already knew that he will already hit that 5th level, so they need to have that confidence right now to push forward to take this first score. But for this, we have this Infernal Drake ready, hot and ready to be taken, but the Scuttler needs to provide vision. But right now they're trying to meet high peak and scope and seeing this together, but now hitting out together. That is Braum taking those hits, but now buzzing out together. That's a jump, and you have the Acathan Rain taking the damage as well as the Fissure blocking in for safe in the perfect straight line. Zenith backs out and now tries for the safety. Hextech popping the perfect timing. That's slow. That's another momentum for the kill. But now for the backing out, that will save the tower. But now they're trying to retreat and try to recon for another perfect way of taking that gank.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be an even trade across the board. I think that was just a 1-for-1 really, despite all that happened. Great initial setup from the side of the Malayan Warlocks. It's just that they didn't have the follow-up afterwards to make something happen. The Tristana hasn't really been activated just yet. She doesn't have the 2 items that she really needs to become a threat. And I think a bit of an overcommit from the Malayan Warlocks. But this Infernal Drake is still up, and it's going to be MGS to take the priority and attempt to go for it right off the bat.
Okay, we are now seeing and sensing some sharks in the water, which are trying to take the damage. That's Brom going back, and now they're trying to take the steal. Will the smite work it through? That's a TP going in, but the team has already slain it now. That's Dane Cute making his perfect way of perfect that takedown with no steals at all. That's a party. That's a scrimmage. Now they're taking it together. Your boy is golden. Eleazar on the most crucial part of that area, and now we're taking it all together. That is one more kill, taken down 1 by 1, 2 to 5. That is one more hit. That is Warlocks taking that another kill.
And that's going to be another ace for the Malayan Warlocks. Deja vu. We saw another ace in the previous game around this 5:30 mark as well. And let's take a look at exactly what happened. It looked pretty promising for MGS Gaia. They took that dragon, they have that Infernal Drake, but you know, I think a bit of an overcommit. The Tristana was free to just do what she wanted, and Tristana was activated that fight. She had that Infinity Edge that time around compared to the previous fight where she was sitting on nothing. And
Correct.
I think that really made the difference.
You know what made her so confident? He just completely planting spikes on everybody's head that completely explodes every time she taps that auto, and that gave him another way to engage, have that range, and execute some good power play in keeping the tempo together. And as they want to make it an extended visit, they're taking down the Rift Herald Neep. Right at this time, they're breaking it. Gaia has starting to feel this vibe. Do we need to take this now? But the shark is ready, trying to trump the waters. But now it's a steal. It's a skirmish, knocking them out together. Glacial Fissure in the straight line. Dominoes putting him in the pod state. Look at the Eleazar with the hit. Yox out of the map as well. Are they sweeping it all? No, they don't. They will try to live to see another fight.
Yeah, and the Gragas wasn't even there during everything that was happening at the moment. Same thing with the Fiora. But again, let's take a look at what exactly happened. Another good initiate coming in from Domat. That was a 4-man knock-up, and the rest of the team was just able to cleanly follow up. Again, no one is touching Tristana in these fights. She's full HP almost the entire fight, and that's really making the difference in this game right now. Tristana probably going to be able to buy that Static Shiv already once she recalls.
Yes.
And I think that's a Rift Herald for the side of Malayan Warlocks as well.
Agree. And if you have that IE and the Static Shiv, man, you're gonna go full on critical crazy damage, and using that stack ability of true damage, man. Since Tristana can just bounce out, in and out, and you have the protection of Gragas and as well as Alistar to keep you in the safest range, they can still be confident in taking this together. But right now, as you've mentioned in the first game mistakes, their gold need is not that too far from one another.
Yeah, it's actually still pretty close to one another. It's still anyone's game, even though Malayan Warlocks does have the 1000 gold lead. We do have to consider that MGS Gaia has that Infernal Drake. That's something that's going to stick with them throughout the entire game. And we also have to consider that all it takes is just one turret to really make that gold difference back up again. And the first tower hasn't been taken just yet.
Yes, and what they need to do here is look out for Stellar Meow. It's all about having that deflect on her sidestep, you know what I mean? It's Fizz. They can literally be out in the open and be invulnerable out in the state, you know? He can just totally be out like a ghost. So probably the best possible way to counter this if you get Dane Cute in the perfect time, as well as a 4v1 wipe in the tower. Crazy. Taking down Zenith with no mercy, and that's an unleash of the Rift Herald right now, and is trying to take this on. Is Dane Cute engaging? Is he not? But right now that's a trade for the tower and for their safety.
Yeah, so this looks like it is going to be the Rift Herald still being pushed up on the side of the Malayan Warlocks, and
Yeah.
let's take a look and see how these things play out.
Oh, as they trying to make it through the challenges of this time, MCL Warlocks and MGS Gaia are still moving in the deep as we're trying to see this now. Challenges might come in, but as they prey on this dragon, they have taken it now. It's Mischance, not giving any way an opportunity, but that's a bite of the shark. That's Meow having on the backlash with a sidestep there and following out with another kill from behind, and that is one follow-up. That is one Dane Cute monkey, and while they tried to add it, that's MGS Gaia having that shutdown, and that's a wipe.
Yeah, and that's exactly what needed to happen for MGS Gaia to get back in the game. Like we said earlier, it's still anyone's game. A bit of an overcommit coming in from Malayan Warlocks. They're in the choke point. This allows champions like the Kaisa, like the Orianna to really shine, and the Tristana actually was taken into consideration this time around. She wasn't ignored. Yeah, she wasn't ignored this time around, and now the gold lead is slightly in favor of MGS Gaia, and it looks like this game is going to be pretty back and forth action right here.
Correct. And as you've mentioned, the choke point, you need to get into the power play, the tempo, as MGS guys saying, not today, because we will have still another chance in making this true. As you mentioned, do not overextend, but it is still a chance to be answered by these two squads, because in Warlocks, in Gaia, things can happen in a make or break situation, and that time is now, Neep. With the current items building right now, where is this headed as we enter the mid game?
Yeah, so as we enter the mid game, I do think that MGS does have a bit of a, MGS does have that Fiora who can be extremely strong in this mid-game, late-game scenario, especially in those 1v1s, but this Tristana is still ramping up. She has the IE, she has that static Shiv. It's just a matter of giving her the space to really do the damage and wreak havoc on that team.
Agree. And while she is trying to make that crit, and as well as the support, Eleazar can still have it aided in a perfect set. But you need to look after, there's Blue, just throwing the explosive cast to make you be out in the open for typical isolated damages that you can receive. But if they have this perfect set, Dane Cute can still be wiping it out from the backlines. But if they try to win this, they would need additional power by the hand of Baron.
Yeah, so that is something that does need to be considered. For these two teams, it's still extremely even. I think anyone can really win this game at this point. There is no clear winner like what we've seen in the other games.
Agree.
Around the 6-minute mark, we kind of already know who's gonna win, but I can't really say that for this game. It seems like both of these teams are going to be pulling out all stops, and it's just a matter of execution at this point. Which team can get the better team fight? Which team can go for those picks and kind of set the objectives up more properly? And at the moment, it's kind of hard to say. Both of these teams just kind of posturizing, not really committing to anything. But I think something is going to explode very soon.
I agree with you, man. It's all about being safe, but that will make them too cautious and conscious if one mistake can lead to a bigger wipe this time. It's still unpredicted. Gold advance is not too far away. Everybody's trying to prey on with one another. Isolated. There goes the chum, and that is the airborne knockup. Will they take it? No. That is a clone mirror, and just in just seconds, they're trying to reinforce it now. Having that ultimate in the mid lane at this Vox is in on the deadliest part of this game. That is the enemy lines, and now he is trying to go back for safety. As a good decision, moving slowly, but they're going in surely.
Yeah, so it looks like they weren't able to secure that kill onto Vox, but that isn't going to stop them. The Dragon is about to spawn in roughly 20 seconds, and that's something that both of these teams want. We're going to see another huge 5v5 fight. A lot of flashes were burned, a lot of summoner spells were burnt in that previous clash. So this is something that these teams need to be aware of, they need to be careful of, and it's really going to make or break this team fight coming up in the next few seconds.
Look at this number, 11-11. These two squads need to make a wish right now because it's 11-11. This is 1-1, and you have now the chance to have it scores. You need to put up some scores. Come on, instant follow-up. You need to have that wave clear. You need to have the perfect execution. That's a two-man knockup, and with the follow-up, that's the confidence of the GA. Are they following up now? No. This is one Drake ready for the taking and for the steal with warded areas. It is Dane Cute, all full confidence, but that explosive cast making them bounce back. But the Chum of the Waters continues to push through. That's the bite of the shark. He smells blood, and while he's trying to focus it now inside the pit, they having this miscalculation is trying to wipe it out together, but that's a back out and a knockout from Mischance. But no, you're not escape and you're not safe from Zenith. We will live to see another day, but Eleazar is on way one with one another as Zenith having this full wipe again. Neat.
Yeah, and
MGS Gaia.
It goes back to what I was saying. Tristana is the key for the Malayan Warlocks to really make this happen. The initial engage was a bit sloppy. They weren't able to secure that dragon, but take a look at Tristana, you know. She gets focused down, she kind of misplays, jumps in the pit, forced to use the stopwatch, and the rest of the team is just able to push it down. And while all of that was happening, MGS, they're going for the kill. They want to end this game, but looks like Mapua, will they be able to get it? The hourglass has been popped, it's not enough, and MCL Warlocks, they're able to save things with just 400 HP left on their Nexus tower.
Agree, man, and is trying to pull this through. They will need the hand of Baron, or will they be focusing on taking those skills? Will they settle, or will they go mad? You have the Shark, you have the Deflect, but this one, MGS guy is showing up some moves and saying, we will jump in and put some pressure in onto you, Warlocks. Come on, take it all together. They're taking this, they're gonna need the hand of Baron this time, but
I
no.
don't think they know.
Oh, they don't know. But right now, it's being safely, no contest at all. No, they are powered up, they're buffed in, but they're trying to pull it forward with that ultimate. That is now, does not end with that isolation, not in for safety for Braum.
And now this is gonna be the Baron for 5 members of the Malayan Warlocks. They're in a really interesting situation. Their Nexus has 400 HP, but the Malayan Warlocks, they're in an extremely good position to just straight up win the game if they play their cards correctly. Baron is exactly what they needed to stay in this game, and it's interesting to see how MGS Gaia is gonna respond to this, as this could be the comeback part 2.
Agree, man. As they're trying to make it in more cautious, they would probably burn this Baron if they can. But if MGS Gaia has seen the weak point, you've mentioned the choke point. If they fall into that, they're gonna be full speed ahead in taking these lanes from middle to bottom. No time wasted at all. You have the Sharks unleashed, but now they're trying to see it. No, we are trying to move it forward. Look at them go. Warlocks is trying to have it on the proper. That's a knockup. That's a 2-man knockup and a follow. That is Knight and Zenith trying to in back out, but now they are still confident with the damage. The needed damage is in for the perfect timing. That's MGS Gaia need, and they are now going in full speed ahead.
Yeah, and it looks like MGS Gaia, even though they did give up the Baron, even though it did look up a bit sketchy for a few seconds there, it's going to be MGS Gaia tying the series up with that 1-1 after a really back and forth game. They're going to finally be able to take their first victory of the ROG University Alliance Cup and walk away with 1 point on the scoreboard for them. GG, well played.
Again with 1-1, you have MGS Gaia taking that Mapua represent, not selling it for 0. That's 1-1. That wish of 11-11 actually worked, Neep.
Yeah, it looks like they did make that wish and it did come true. And I mean, if I had to give a shout out right here, the Wukong played so well that fight, getting the crucial smites, enabling the picks, and setting up these team fights for the rest of the MGS team to kind of just walk around freely and do what they needed to do to make that victory happen. And well played. I think this was probably the closest game that we've seen in the ROG University Alliance Cup so far, and I'm hoping we get to see more of these type of games.
Oh, I believe so. And as we wait for the next matches, let's acknowledge first our partners and sponsors for making this all action happen. Of course, man, that was you're in the perfect view and on the edge of your seat that we can give you today in the UAC Season 2. So this won't be possible and won't be a thing with our amazing sponsors and partners, as UAC 2021 is powered by Globe Telecom, our official telco sponsor, ASUS ROG Phone 5, Logitech G, Riot Games, and Twitch Student, our official platform partner.
Yeah, so shout out to those sponsors. You know, this wouldn't be possible. This event wouldn't be as great without them. And, you know, I can't get over how that game went, how the tournament
Same, man.
went.
Likewise, man. That was...
And what's even more exciting is that there's just a lot more in store for us today. That's only game 1 of today. We've got way more to see today, and I'm looking forward to all of it.
I am in for that. And while we give the action in the edge of everybody's seat, wherever they are, being safe at home, guys, don't go anywhere as we give you the next set of games, this time in ROG UAC Season 2. It's League of Legends World Rift, and we will be right back.
Why don't you watch me do my thing? Reinvent and show the world, yeah. She's to be more, she's to be better, she's to evolve, she's to be more, she's to be better, she's to evolve, she's to evolve. Every time the world spins round, reinvent 360. Thinking you gon' mess up your thing, yeah. Show the whole world, reinvent. Nobody should know something is strong. Why don't you watch me do my thing?
Take it to the next level with Globe's fiber, LTE Advanced, and 5G mobile connection. Now you have the power to reinvent your world. Globe.